Hello my 7 deadly sins family and friends, welcome back to another video. Now we've covered the gauntlets of Derieri, and funny enough I realised after that video that I hadn't even enchanted it with any bonus stats, and she did that much damage. Was crazy. But we're not talking about the gauntlets today, we're talking about her greatsword. Now this is very interesting. I never expected to have a greatsword, but it begs the question, has it made Escanor even remotely better to put in the leagues closer to Merlin and Meliodas? Now I think we all have the same thought, probably not, but alas, let's have a quick look at what she can do at P5 and then what she could do if people had her at P10. Unfortunately, I don't have a secret angel, or not so secret angel, who gives me money to get potential 10 of characters like some people. But that's okay. We can still see how she does at P5 because the majority of you probably will have around P5 to P7. Okay, so at P5 she gains a little bit extra. It says that the final strike of her special attack does a bit more damage. Not bad, right? And this special attack's fire defense reduction additionally increases by 10%. Now, to begin with, if we have a quick look here, it does it by 20%. So have a 30% fire defense decrease. Not too bad, to be honest, for a P5. But as you look at the later potentials, it actually does help quite a lot. So P6 is a bit more HP boost, and remember with Axe Escanor, his damage is partly based on his HP, especially his ultimate, if they are in a fire burst. And then at potential 7, it's just basically a bit more damage, but this attack increases the enemy's ultimate move or combined attack damage taken by 50%. This is massive, because at P5 it's a bit awkward because you kind of have to ult with her before you go onto Escanor and do his ultimate to really get the most out of the damage that she can give Escanor. So it's a bit awkward, but having this on the normal skill is really, really big. An extra 50% is nuts, right? And then at P9, it means that instead of having 3k extra fire attack, you're getting 6k, which is crazy. And on top of that, we're getting defense shatter. And we all know how powerful defense shatter is. Literally every single element is looking for a defense shatter unit. And I'm trying to think if we're missing anything, because we've got Clotho for ice. We've got, I think we've actually got 2 for wind now, because we've got Elizabeth with wind and Daisy with wind. Nuts. And then Earth. Do we have a defense shatter on Earth? I don't think so. And then that's like all the elements, right? Because like of those elements, because Holy and Dark don't have it either. So I think that's kind of the theme. Coming units are probably going to boost Earth, Holy and Darkness defense shatter at some point. And obviously probably at P9 or P10. And then at P10, again, when she uses her ultimate, it increases the ultimate crit damage of fire heroes by 50%, and which is nuts, like massive boosts. And if you don't know what her kit does, so her passive, when an allied hero attacks an enemy with decrease of fire defense, which she puts on as we know, all allied fire heroes combined or ultimate move crit damage is increased by 60% and more HP with the special attack. And then with her special attack, it's just the defense down that we said. We're now at P5 at 30%. The normal skill is just giving allies more fire attack. And then the ultimate, each hit of the attack increases the ultimate move or combined attack damage taken by enemies by 30%. So she really boosts fire damage and ultimate, so it kind of sounds perfect for Escanor, and that's why I said it's kind of weird, because you'd really want to ultimate with her before you go an ultimate with Escanor, and it's only a 20-second of this buff, and that's a decent amount of time, especially if you gear her with some debuff efficiency, right? So not too bad, but when you get that high potential, it's absolutely insane. So much ultimate move damage, so much just defense reduction and buffs from her. It sounds really, really good. So I have her at P5, 23k attack. So even if I did have that high potential, I would have enough attack because you need 20,000 to get that 6k instead of 3k. And then with the armor, I've just put random stuff on, but really I would want to have the spider boots, just get that debuff duration. And then I just wanged on some life crystal for a bit more HP. I haven't even upgraded it. I really can't be bothered. It doesn't matter too much. We've got so much health as is. It probably would help if I increase this, but again, a bit of fire attack and HP on her, I don't really care about it. I did like enough to get that the buff duration. If I had debuff, it would be even better, but not too bad. So with that out of the way, let's see what she can do. So I think at first what we're going to do is going to completely skip her and do a 5-star or 5 amount of ultimate with Escanor, and then we'll see how much damage that does. I'll try and like clip it and slow it down whilst I edit so we can see, and then we'll do it with her and then we can compare. So all we're going to do is going to buff and debuff with everyone else but Derieri, right? Try and get as much tag as possible, or as much buffs as possible, right? This is not good. Okay, he's stunned. I'm gonna ult. We have 6 ult gauge instead of 1. He did 2.5 million there with just the buffs and debuffs from Elizabeth, Daisy, and his full raid set double. So same thing before, but instead we're going to use the buffs and debuffs with Derieri as well. We need to try and get about 6. Okay, we're going to see how much we do, if it still lands. What was that? Okay. I didn't expect that at all. I'm so shocked. I'm pretty certain that 2.5 crit. I'll have to check and I'll get back to you. So I just checked it and it was a crit. So it literally doubled his damage. Now, maybe I missed that not having as much debuffs or anything, but I think it was as pretty close as I could have got it. If I did miss out on some buffs or debuffs, do let me know. But I don't think it would have made like double the damage difference. Like that's crazy. Like I don't want to really glaze Derieri that much because I really think she is a massive bait, and I think Barn and Half Year Anniversary is going to be mental and going to be so good. I'm really surprised by that. And we didn't even use her ultimate to get that extra 30%. I know I've made a video about Sword Shield Escanor and I used the Breath of Glory. Now, I'm pretty sure it's Ray. Apologies if it wasn't Ray who's calculated this and found this out. But I think actually Sora found out about this fire attack that I'm about to say. And maybe it was Ray who found out that the crit build is actually really good, but found out that fire attack is actually, and just attack in general, it basically does literally nothing for Sword and Shield because it's all defense based. So this really reduces what I thought and what others have thought, why this was really good. It's still really good because of the normal attacks, and with fire burst, how I said in that video, you're going to proc the fire burst hits over and over. So it's still good in that sense, but if you really want that big pack a punch of stuff, getting 12% all elemental damage is probably not worth it, right? Especially for shorter fights. So I have gone and made a black flame We probably won't be fire bursting still, especially with him. So we're losing out on the crit chance, but again, we don't care about that. We've got the crit damage. I do have max fire damage and max ultimate move. The other two bits are kind of useless. So we're going to switch this over and see how it goes. So we're going to do the same test again. We're going to go in. We're not going to boost from Derieri, and we're going to try and do the full rotation, everything, and see the damage, and then we're going to come in with Derieri. Now, what is really, really good about this is that the Sword and Shield Escanor, he doesn't require like a ton of magic gauge or ult gauge to be able to do his rotations and do his nuking. You basically just need 2 for him, right? And then using his skills will get you enough to be able to use his ultimate again in his overheat form. So what we are actually able to do, which is really, really nice with the sword, is we're able to get this ultimate move extra damage by 30%, which I think could be really, really good. Now, enough of me waffling. Let's go in against Marmus and see how we do. So let's see how this goes without the Derieri buffs. Hopefully it plays nice, because it's been a real pain in my butt trying to get a run going where tags are actually working. But let's see, shall we? Hopefully it works before all the buffs run out. Yeah, it didn't happen again. Okay, we got it. Do this. Then we're going to ult. I'm not sure how much damage that did. It didn't feel like a lot though, did it? So, same thing over again. Buffs. Debuffs. And ult with her. I'm going to switch to him. 1, 2, switch, and switch back to him. So this one's gone probably a lot better than the other one, to be honest. But hopefully it won't matter too much, right? And then ult. Boom. That did about 300k, I think. One of the hits, which is pretty good. It actually looked a lot more, but maybe it was like many hits altogether. But let's do another rotation. It definitely has done a lot more, because we can see by his health, right? It's done a lot more damage for sure. A lot more damage. So I've spent some time checking the footage without the Derieri buffs. The biggest I saw was a singular 260. There was another one where it did about 130 plus 60 when I ulted. And then with Derieri, it did 306k and 270k. The 306k and the 262 without Derieri were both critical. Whilst editing, we obviously saw that I did like over 600k, so that was like insane, like obviously over double again, and with ultimate, and you'll see in a bit, but I have no gear on as well. So yeah, pretty crazy. I'm not sure where that 270k come from with the ultimate. That was a bit odd to me, so I can't explain that. But still, getting an extra 40k damage isn't too shabby. I also realised that with the Sword and Shield, he had no gear whatsoever. So obviously his damage and even his engrave really made it so then his damage was pathetic, right? So please don't see that as like the biggest damage he can do, especially at P10 and stuff, because he would do so much more damage, right? so much more damage, because you get the 40% defense increase to even do more damage from his overheat stuff, and he's getting defense here. He will do way more damage. But it's very late. I don't have much time else to test with the gear or whatever, but as a showcase of Derieri with fire, I think this is pretty nice. Having just that extra, like, imagine we get another fire character that isn't alt oriented. Is this still going to be very good to use? I think so, just for this 30% fire defense and the 3k extra attack. It is just so nice. And if you're lucky enough to have high potential, right, I guess it's less as much, unless they have really good ultimates and combined ultimates, right? Of course it's going to be good on anyone, especially with P9, to get that defense shatter is just so good. Even with this showcase and seeing how much damage it's really ramped Escanor's damage up, I was so shocked by that basically double damage of the ult on Escanor. Just because he basically is just one big punch and that's it. I still feel it's going to be very tough for him to stack up next to Lightning Merlin and Meliodas. Potentially for certain speed runs, he could be very good. We've already seen him good in Galland. I've seen some really good cases on the Golem, and that'll be very interesting to see how it will play out once we have the reset. We've got 2 top times here at 22nd with Escanor, so it'll be very interesting to see how this plays out once it's reset and we don't have the exploits. Okay, so I think it has helped Escanor quite a lot, but I still think Meliodas and Merlin are just on a completely other level. It's fantastic to see how Fire Derieri really improves the damage of Escanor. I'm very happy to see this, and it shows that yes, the later potentials are just insane, but still useful at lower potentials. I still wouldn't suggest really summoning for Derieri unless you don't have a strong Meliodas and you've only say got Escanor as your DPS, because I really think that the half-year anniversary is going to be super good for us. This patch has been so minimal. I know we have that 15-man raid coming up in the following weeks and stuff, but I still think it's quite lackluster, and they're really preparing us for that half-year anniversary. Anyway, if you've enjoyed this video or if you've learned something new, please do consider leaving me a like and subscribe. I'd really appreciate it. I hope you have enjoyed it, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. And until my next one, cheerio.